Right, Zimbabweans, how are you? How are you in all parts of the world? I hope you're good. I hope you're so fine. Right, I've got a topic today. I've got a topic which I want to bring you today. A nice topic which I want to bring you today. But I won't be here on the topic. I'll let you listen to this, and I want you to tell me what you think. Um, Today I was on the space. Today I was on the space, and I um, I was listening to a South African space. The guys from South Africa talking about Zimbabweans in South Africa, and I want you to share this, and then make sure that this goes to the MPs of Zimbabwe. I'm not going to be sitting here. I'm going to let um, that space. I recorded the whole space what they were discussing about Zimbabweans, and it's so terrible and it's painful, and a lot of people probably will cry when you listen to this. So share this with your friends. I won't be sitting here. I'll let it play, whether there are two people or there are three people. But you will love this. You will love this. So what I'll do is I'm going to start sharing now. I'm going to start playing it now. Enjoy, enjoy this. This is what was happening in a space by South Africans today, talking about Zimbabweans. There you go.
Is expired. Thank you. Thank you, Nogogo. Occupying. You know what, my brother, we've got a solution. Don't worry about what they are doing now. They can go to courts, but as long as we've got about Total, about BP, about Engine, and then sinabo lion lapha senganekabalela on mesh lapha. Yeah, Sinet and Lob. All will break loose. They must watch the space. Guys, Mandova, grab the mic.
Hi, everyone. Okay, guys, this is what I have to say on the issue of Zimbabweans or any other illegal foreigners in South Africa. I've heard some people saying that these people are so disrespectful in a vele nambazwile, but bazothatha South African women and whatnot. And these people, whatever that they're saying, it is because of us, South African women. We are the enablers. We have to take responsibility, like accountability sometimes. We are the enablers of the disrespect this country has to endure from illegal foreigners, Zimbabweans to be specific. It is because of us we do not respect ourselves. We are so cheap. We give birth to abantwana balabantu laba, and they have ama group, ama Facebook group, nama WhatsApp group. Laba qhathana khona ufike bethi we must get as many South African women pregnant as possible so that the government doesn't chase us out because we have kids, families in South Africa. These people think that becoming a permanent resident of South Africa is sexual transmitted, forgetting that mina angazi I'm a traditional person. If I have a child, I'm Xhosa. If I have a child with a Zulu person, that child is Zulu. That child is not Xhosa. He or she is Zulu. So these women who keep having kids with Zimbabweans, those kids are not South Africans, those kids are Zimbabweans. We do not want our spermakoti in South Africa. We don't, it's not in our culture, and it's not going to start now. As now spermakoti here. And then the reason why they are so disrespectful towards our men and our country, it is because South African women, some South African women, let me not say South African women, some South African women are so cheap and they do not respect themselves. I mean, uwathatha my feelings with Zimbabwe, uwathatha my feelings with Nigeria, uwathatha uzumzalele. Guys, no, you need to start loving yourselves, please. I'm talking to my fellow women. Start loving yourselves, please. Another thing that I wanted to say is that I've been in so many spaces of patriotic South Africans who want the good thing for South Africa. I think, guys, we have spoken enough. We need to take action now. I'm from Kagiso, by the way, so I hope you understand when I say we need to take action now. We need to take action now because we've been talking. First of all, we have a problem of NGOs who are vouching for lawlessness in this country. I don't know. I was thinking that since there are groups, I don't know whether I should say it is groups or organization like Put South Africans First, Operation Dudula. Maybe we should now put some cash. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. We can have membership cards, last money, so that we can be able to take these NGOs to court whenever they are vouching for lawlessness in this country. We must take them to court to say, you know what, you are calling yourselves a South African NGOs, but you are not fighting for South Africans. You are always on illegal foreigners' side, because these people are never on our side. They are always on illegal foreigners' side. We should take that route, guys. We should have membership cards, even if it's 10 rand or 50 rand per month. We put that money there so that we get a lawyer and take these NGOs to court as well, because they are clearly funded by these illegal foreigners. That's why they are vouching for lawlessness in this country, so that imali ilogingena while our country is perishing. We need to take action now, guys. It is time. We have spoken enough in these spaces. Yes, it is a good thing, but it is enough now. Let us take action. And if there is any Zimbabwean in this space, getting a permanent residence, yes, South Africa is not sexual transmitted. You can have as many kids as you want. You are still going to go back home. And to my fellow women, start loving yourselves. Start choosing your country more than money, please. That is my submission, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Made it clear. Bosses versus South Africa. Okay, the next hand it will be Zulu.
Can I just quickly say something, Zenopho?
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you so much for the mic. Can I make a humble request that we do not allow Zimbabweans to have a microphone? We're not here to hear anything they have to say. So I see there's Simba up there. Please do not allow him to speak. It's enough of the gaslighting.
Siyabonga, Mama. We'll do that because they are not taking us anywhere anyway. Unicorn. Your chats and then that. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope my SA people, you're doing okay. Thank you, Anata, about that. Actually, I was getting frustrated as well with all these Zimbabweans. If they're not influencing our country, they're influencing our spaces. If it's not our hospitals, it's our schools. It's just yeah.
Sorry. There's a point there about Simba. Please, if we are really serious about this thing, we must start now in our space. Remove Simba there. Remove that guy. Let's remove him, because actually it must start now. Then we remove him from the country. Done. Finished. Done. We can continue.
Angola is gone. Angola is gone. Angola is gone. Just say Angola if there's an Angola. I will say
Oh God. Okay, Angola.
Continue. They're still continuing. Don't worry. They removed one Zimbabwean who was on the space. They removed him straight away. They said, we don't want that guy. There was a guy, Simba was in the space, but they removed him straight away. So we are still waiting. They are still, I think there was a network breakdown there. So while we are waiting there, guys, this is a plea to the government of Zimbabwe.
If you are giving birth, so natural birth is 8,000, 12,000. And a majority of these hospitals, it's now a norm for Zimbabweans or immigrants to actually deny not paying that fee that they're supposed to pay, which is contributing to South Africans having to suffer and having to be made second priority in the healthcare system. So I don't know, like I think Zimbabweans are just delusional, and we must start to accept that we won't go anyway trying to reason with these people, because they've made up their minds, guys. They are South Africans, and they keep mentioning that we are brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, I have to make it clear to you Zimbabweans, and please stop messaging us as well. I saw you find posts, message something. I don't know who he wants to answer that nonsense. But please, Mina, I'm not your sister. As much as you call me an Afrophobe, I am not. I'm simply not your sister. That Pan-Africanism, that gaslighting thing, it simply won't work anymore. We've tolerated enough as South Africans. We are tired. We need to clean this country, whether illegal or illegal. Please pack your bags and leave. That's it. You won't hear us joining the spaces about ZANU-PF and whatever, trying to discuss issues with you. Why are you guys so lazy? Just come up with a solution. That's all. Vote out your reigning party and stop making up excuses over and over again. We are tired. We are really tired, and that's the mentality of Zimbabweans or immigrants. They have excuses upon excuses. No, guys, no. Come on now. And you're extorting our taxes as well. Please.
Yeah, thank you, last born. Thank you. You know what, Zimbabwean, the last speaker is our last born. So can you imagine how many last borns we're gonna have in the next coming 2 months? So now the youth is in now. So hell will break loose.
Zimbabwe, share this video so that you help your families.
Yeah.
Share the video. Think.
I was on the space where there was predominantly Zimbabweans that side, where some of us moved to this side. I'm going to repeat what I asked, maybe in very short. I just want to ask, I see the topic Zimbabweans must deal with their problems in Zimbabwe. But I wanted to ask Uchi, should we maybe ask ourselves what role can we play in that while they are having their own problem or solving their own problems in Zimbabwe? But what is it that we can do, Tina, as South Africans? For instance, where we see the Zimbabwean either is working as a domestic worker or a teacher or renting or pick and pay or whatever. What can we do to have a decent conversation with those people who decided to bring the Zimbabweans here? Maybe then through Operation Tutu and put South Africa first, just to give us a direction. What discussions do we have and what role can we play? And the other question, the other second point that I wanted to bring to the table, the Zimbabweans are giving us a lot of grief. But what are we going to do with our prominent business people here in South Africa and the high-profile people who are the ones who are bringing our Zimbabweans, like the truck owners owning companies, the people who are in mining, and the people who are employing Zimbabweans. Tina, what are we going to do with those people? Because while the Zimbabweans must go and deal with their own problems in Zimbabwe, but at the moment they are here, inconveniencing us here in South Africa. So how do we then hold these people to account to say, please deal with this matter? Because we can see that you are the ones who's benefiting from the Zimbabweans, and you are benefiting from their vulnerability, and please deal with this matter. The third point, before I move to the last point, I want to talk about Usisumandlo. We speak about South African women having children with the foreigners. I'm a man, obviously, you can hear that, but I just wanted to highlight that back in the olden days, especially around 1993, 94, we were there, those of us who are old enough. We saw these things settling in where if you want to have a relationship with a woman, money was flaunted instead of having a decent relationship that even speaks to the parents later. Once the two of you, you are sure that you really want to date. Now, this thing eventually got out of hand. Now that we're saying South African women must love themselves, I'm not trying to defend them, but I'm just putting myself in the shoes of a family that literally has nothing. Because what I've seen as well is some of the South African women who end up having children with the foreigners, they actually start off by going there to look for a job, whether the guy is selling clothes by one of these shops in town and wherever. And obviously they take advantage of them. And I'm just thinking to myself, how does that person who's so vulnerable, who comes from a family that has nothing, and she's earning even money that doesn't make sense, and now this foreigner is making moves to her and she's looking very good, beautiful. It's a balance. Some of them do it on purpose, but some of them really is because of the poverty that the ANC and the government has promoted in this country. So until we deal with the poverty, I think some women fell for this thing. They didn't really fall in love because they are in love with our foreigners, but it's the circumstances at home. And the last point to bring, as I always say, I'm 50 years old. I also want to ask, let's make a habit of going back to our roots. In other words, if you are living in Kagiso and you have connections somewhere in KZN or in Limpopo, let us go there more often and see how things are unfolding there at the bottom, because the scale of the problem and the problems that you are experiencing in the metros and in the cities is so big. Here in the district, especially the rural district, yes, we do see these Zimbabwean people and Nigerian people, but we are able to handle them somewhere, somehow. So come visit, guys, so that we can also help you to see what can you do, because in congested places like Gauteng, where I was, it's an Alexander, Tembis, and all of those townships, even in other provinces. But the question that I'm asking, what is it that you can do to come and visit the rural-based district municipalities, so that you can see and maybe we can learn from each other how to deal with this matter? That's my submission. Thank you, people.
Just a moment, please, ma'am. Babshati, allow me to just zoom into your point, purely because you are asking that question as a co-host. I think I'm happy to just indulge on that small piece. As you know, we both are in KZN anyway, so we are dealing with them in the rural areas, but it's also not as clearly articulated and known as what we may wish for it to be. Your point as to what are we doing to help to assist in terms of the locals, the local business people, what are we doing to help them? Firstly, the very same discussion that we are having here, where we are actually saying, go home, go and sort out your things, you are actually occupying this space here and not helping the situation back at home. You're legalizing yourselves here so that you can run away from the problem. So the pressure that is coming from here is actually a form of help. so that they understand where their allegiances lie and where their responsibilities lie. Because if we do not do that, we would be saying, you know what, we're happy for Zimbabwe to be collapsing and happening the way it is happening. So this is but one of the many examples. So I'm going to say to you, from a government perspective, I'm not speaking on behalf of government, but from an observation perspective, is that Zimbabwe, the government has been given enough pressure from us South Africans to actually start to fool us into thinking they're doing something about it. They just don't know that we are actually latching on to what the small activities that they are doing. We are actually latching on to them and putting pressure on them. Remember, with these ZTPs and all these permits that they have to regularize themselves into, which they most likely not going to qualify, it effectively makes them illegal when they are here at a later stage. What then that means is that the very same business person who is employing these people illegally becomes a criminal. Our fight after this would then need to be a fight to actually forcing the police and the employment department to actually do what they're doing. So at this point in time, probably my mindset says, let it be in phased approach, because clearly they created a problem so huge they couldn't deal with it once. So they probably now have to do this thing, and even if they're fooling us in a sense to say we are doing something when we know they're doing diddly squat, the mere fact that the activities around that, I'll make you an example. Joaledi has just gone and told us about the Border Management Authority, has not shown us the sniffer dogs, has not shown us the electric fence. So that's where we're going to let and say, you say you established the Border Management Authority, but you haven't given them enough tools and resources to actually manage this thing. So fully implement this thing. So that's where South Africans need to come in and actually deal with these people in government to actually fully implement what we as South Africans want. The mere fact that there's activity from him, let's latch on him. The mere fact that we're having this space to share information and make sure that we disseminate and distribute information for people to understand where the pressure needs to be put for things to be sorted out. So I agree with you asking that question, and I think we also have an answer. It's just that we need to make sure that each and every one of us here understand what the answer is to that and what is required for that. So where information and things are being shared here, it's to create that very same awareness. So effectively, when they do that, remember they actually went and actually created, amended or revised the critical skills list. It is therefore going to make anyone employing those people illegal. South Africans working in those companies will have to report those people anonymously or whatever the case. It's just that we have to make sure that we apply pressure and we actually make sure that people take their responsibility as a South African citizen of reporting the wrongs when they are seen. South Africans should not be accustomed to just letting wrongs carry on and be allowed to just fester without anything being reported. We got so used to actually allowing crime. Like I'll make an example. Someone actually stops at the robots and their windows get broken into to smash and grab. And we allowed that. We did once, they were warned. And South Africans and motorists just watched. So it's time you do not watch when wrong things get done. Follow the process. I've always said that there are systems and processes in place. Follow those processes. Hit them, because they've even the people in government, the civil servants have even forgotten what their responsibilities are. The very same process they're supposed to be administered, administering. They're not. So South Africans need to wake up and realize there's a lot they must do. There's a lot that they relegated to politicians to actually deal with when they were not supposed to be. Illegal or unmanaged littering all over. South Africans allowed it. It became a norm. That's how you ended up with filthy places. Petition the municipality, report the municipality, involve the councillor to clean the place. And lastly, from your last point of saying we allowed it to fester from the 90s. I remember that very closely. The reason was because these people did not realize the implications of that happening at a later stage. It had dire consequences in the future, which they didn't see. Again, it was accepted as a norm. It is abnormal. The mere fact Thank you. Oh. Okay. Yes, sir. Cool. Ulahlekile kancane kodwa ulahleke ekugcineni. Ulahleke ekugcineni. Kodwa siyawusizwile ya. Yeah. I think Babushati confirm you've been answered.
You've answered me very well. Thank you, fellow patriot. I'm happy that we are together. Thank you so much. You've answered me.
Thank you.
And another thing that I want to add about that, it's very simple. We are saying our sisters are being lured to these foreigners because they've got money. Hence, they even sell themselves to them, to make babies with them. Okay, the best solution is remove them. Once you remove them, they go home. Are they going to cross the border and follow the Zimbabweans across the river? No. They will be here in South Africa. Every man that they will get is a South African. And the same as these employers. And they are not going to follow the Zimbabweans. If they know very well that should we find any of the foreigner working in any of the companies here, we will deal with them. So, therefore, if we remove the Zimbabweans, they will have no choice. They will have to listen to what we are saying. They will have to employ the South African. And again, the very same foreigner who is selling fruits there and then giving the money to South African sisters, that table should be owned by the very same woman that is taking the money from that foreigner, selling there by the road, without a penny. That table will be given to a South African. Therefore, that woman will be independent and be able to make her own money without depending on that particular leech or parasite. Okay, let me go to the list. Hey, guys,
sorry, can I just say something to Babshat?
Okay.
Please. Okay. Babshat, I just want to add on that woman thing, if they do these things because they buy a shupeka. That is not true, Babshat. It is a choice. They chose to do that. I ngihluphekile babshophe. Ngihluphekile babhlathi. Mina ngihlalile kusikwata camp. Ngimncane ngingane ngingena isikole. Do you know what I did this money? For ukubhadala irent nokuthi ndizithengele nyanga ne-uniform esikolweni. Bengiwasha impahla. I remember kusikwata camp ebengihlala kuso. Bekunama-taxi driver. So because bebevuke ekuseni baphinde babuye ebusuku. Ngibawashele baklinele imikhukhu yabo at least ngeveki lapho ngithola noba aboma-250 ngiyigcina leyo mali babhlathi. Uyazi ukuthi e-college i-NSFAS beyingekabikho ngale ndlela izingayo ukuthi uyithole manje. Bekuwukuthi uzo-register for i-NSFAS and you will only get your money after i-semester seyiphelile. So uhlala ungenamali yokuya esikolweni neyokudla neyokwenzani for the whole semester, the time bengifunda. Do you know what I did nababhlathi? Ngasebenza ethaveni ngingaphuzi ngisho utshwala and-ke mina-ke ngikhule vele ngimconjwana nje. Bengisebenza ethaveni. It was a shitty job. Bekungekho mnandi babhlathi. But I did not let any man take advantage of me until ngiqeda esikolweni. I'm on my second qualification manje. I still do not let any man take advantage, be it South African or a foreigner. I don't let any man take. So whatever that they are doing, it is their choice. It is not because of poverty. Mini poverty ngiyayazi. I am speaking from experience. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga, mama. Guys, I'm not sure about the speakers, but please bear with me. I've got a lot. I'm gonna just hold on. I'm gonna say it again, okay? I'm not sure about the list now. I'm really confused. But I think Olerato, she was the one who was coming in and out here without getting an opportunity, and then it's gonna be a pleasure, Kaleto, and then King. Let's swallow. Yeah, let's swallow.
It's a pity to be a Zimbabwean.
Can you come in, ma'am? 3 minutes for everyone, guys, please. I've got a lot of people who are requesting. Guys, bear with me. Those who are requesting, I'm not accepting you to speak. It's because the list today we should have 10 people maximum. So one of the guys who are speakers there, they must just go down themselves so that we can allow those guys to get a 10. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Patriots. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to stick to that 3 minutes or less. And let me just thank everyone that has been able to share their views here. And I supported most of the speakers, but just my few points here, guys. I think we need to be very active citizens in our country and be involved in the decision-making part of the government here, to let us stop tweeting things and hoping that our government will change and will listen to us and do prioritize us, because we are very active on social media, but not active on the ground in terms of making sure that these things that we're talking about and affecting us are happening. Let's move away from just tweeting. We can tweet, but let's take action. The second thing, I think we need to vote out political parties that are not prioritizing South Africans. We really are tired of people that will come and tell us about them being in exile, them being doing this. And in particularly when it comes to Zimbabweans, I don't think there's any South African politician that has found home in Zimbabwe, but they're continuously prioritizing and accommodating them. And we're fighting over resources that are not even supposed to be negotiated upon with people that do not belong to this country. I've seen a lot of people coming from outside countries having resources that we do not even have. In Joburg itself, where I stay, there are people that are coming from Zimbabwe. I don't care whether they're legal or illegal. They own farms in Walkerville. They are benefiting from government development programs in agriculture. And some of us are not even able to access such services from the government because people are just corrupt. They pay money, they do these things, and they benefit. And if we are to get rid of this government that is not prioritizing South Africans, I think we will benefit. And in the unemployment, guys, will be halved. Most of the graduates that are youth in this country are sitting at home. They are frustrated. They are depressed because they don't get jobs. They don't get anything. And Zimbabweans are working. And we are quiet. We're tweeting and saying we put in South Africa first. I'm tired, guys. And we need to stop negotiating with our government. We need to compel our government to do what is right, which is prioritizing us. And I think the last thing, let's just make it difficult for the illegal foreigners to thrive in our country. Those that are running amateur shops and businesses, I've resorted to not supporting them. Even restaurants that are utilizing most of this SADC people, that most are not even legal, I don't support them. I've moved away from paying even a chip. If I find someone that is seeming to be illegal or to be a foreigner, either I ask to be served by a South African, or I don't even tip them, or I walk away from the restaurant if the management is also coming from those countries. Guys, we need to do much on the ground and stop treating things away.
Mama, thank you very much. It's something, what you are just saying now, like this support on these shops. I think most of the patrols here are doing that. It's something that we've discussed for quite some time, that wherever possible, there is shop around you. Don't go and buy there, because that food was never even inspected. The speaker must take over, please. According to the order.
Guys, is it me or?
It's you.
Okay.
Okay, it's me, ne? Beniti, for us, those and the others, that we know how to use the media very well, and the apps that interact with the internet, like our Twitters, Facebook, and all that. There's a thing that influencers and other people that do it. I don't know how is it simple or what they like. I'm a trend, so yeah, what I'm a trend. So I think we should think of something that can be triggered as a trend. Yoku pressurize the South African women as a trend. They should stop opting for you understand? Yeah, so a trend, I don't know. People come up with things, man. I don't know how can we South Africans come up with things on the tabloids that can something that is a career that person has worked hard for, but you can't do the same to save your country. If somebody works hard as a celebrity and makes music, whatever, as a model, if that person makes one mistake, influencers will be on their neck, on his neck. Then it will be turned into a challenge, it will turn into a trend, and that person's life and the career will be turned into. So it's just an example. I'm just saying that what can we do, those who know how to do such things? What can we do? What can we say? What can we do on the internet that can trend and make the South African women to dwell away from I'm a foreigner. You understand? But in a safe way, remember, in a safe way, you don't have to do it. No. That's not safe. Just be conscious, like whenever they see that thing on the internet and whatever, be conscious, like my one, lawyer, lo mama lawyer, sis, or entombazana lawyer. My born at I answer. Yeah, just that thing could see Usabuti that stigma is Salana. Abantu into so it's just an idea. I don't know how to come up with it, but just an idea. We can dwell around it and just come up with ideas. So what can we do? I think that thing can help us in some way, somehow. But if you do it in a safe way, I don't know. It's a suggestion. I'm open to be corrected. It's just a suggestion. Okay.
No, my brother, I get your point, but hey, that one is very tricky to deal with it because that one is a personal right for the person. I think what we are saying now to just warn them about it, it's more than enough, you know. So the decision is with them because I can tell you that those kids that our South African women can give birth to, their fathers are foreigners. They will never get arrested here in South Africa, believe me or not, because we will always remind them. I always even tell my sisters about it today. If you make a mistake and date a foreigner and then you have a child, I'm not going to be angry to the child, to tell you the truth. And whatever South Africans decide to do with a particular child, it's going to be up to the South Africans. What do they do? Because she must make sure that she moves to a foreign country with that leech or parasite. But as to say we can intervene in that, no, let them decide for themselves. But they must know the risk of doing so. Thank you very much. Squama.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a Mandarian.
Thank you, host, co-host, with your host. Greetings to everyone on the space, speakers and listeners. Sorry I joined late because I was out on my jog after that space that was very traumatic for some of us. But before I go through, I might maybe divert a bit. I'm not sure how far the discussion is, but allow me to, in my 3 minutes. I want to honor these two patriots, Bongani Masilela and you, Zulu Unicorn. You gave me goosebumps this morning when you stood up in that very toxic platform and spoke like true patriots. Zulu Unicorn, at one point you were cornered where you were forced to apologize, and you gave them a very lame apology because you wanted to send your point across, but when you closed, you gave them the middle finger. And believe me, I was still in bed. I jumped in that bed. My wife was shocked. I was celebrating that this is my patriot. She's very strategic and she can think on her feet to be strategic to get what she wants. That shows to me the intelligence of South African women that we have. African Jewel held it her own. She tried everything she could in that space. But one thing that I noted, if others who were there did not notice, this is exactly the reason why we shouldn't be in those spaces, number one. Number two, there was a gang of men who were ganging up against a woman, which was very despicable and disgusting for some of us. She tried and she was giving them facts. And all they did, they ganged up. They would mute everyone. I requested the mic. They kept on kicking me out. I decided to go onto the comment section until Mohane came, got the mic because he confused them. And he stood up and he said, why are you interrupting this woman? Brother, you gave me goosebumps. I was so happy that here is a South African young man standing up for a South African woman, because it felt like this debate, we were debating somewhere, not in our country. It felt like we were debating outside South Africa. There was this Ziso guy who was interrupting any other speaker. He would speak for about 10 minutes uninterrupted. He is based in UK when I was checking. And other speakers, they were ganging up all against African Jewel. My dear sister, had it been, I didn't want to call you and interrupt you, but I feel you shouldn't go to such spaces. We benefit nothing. I don't think discussing with these people, they've proven it beyond reasonable doubt to me that you cannot reason with these people. And they speak, that this one, he spoke eloquent English, and which is some of the things that confuse some of the patriots. When we hear someone speaking eloquent English, we think this person can reason. That guy is an animal. I will show you one specific thing that I analyzed, which he did. He said in that space, trying to corner African Jewel, that we cannot use a blanket approach and say Zimbabweans are criminals, just like South Africans. We cannot say South Africans are xenophobic, what. And then he went on to mention that you can't put a tire on someone and bet him and burn him to death. Do you agree on that? He's trying to corner you with that question. He's speaking eloquently with human rights. And in the very same sentence, when you try to respond and answer him, what does he do? He interrupts you. He wants to speak human rights, and for someone to speak uninterrupted, it is in the Bill of Rights. You have a right of expression. He's violating your very same right. He can violate them, but you cannot violate their rights. Believe me, I was so pissed off. I kept on requesting the mic because I wanted to tell him that he's an idiot. That's why I went into their comment section. I told them that you are cowards, ganging up against a woman. You are about 10, 15. That's why they went and raped those women last week. So these people, they save us no purpose debating with them. If round two, sorry, what's his name? The brother that I was scorning the other day about him allowing foreigners into our spaces to speak. I want to openly apologize to him. I was wrong to say that because it looks like we do allow them. Yesterday there was a space we were allowing these foreigners to speak, but eventually what you were doing, you still show fairness. You kept on saying you will cut us within 3 minutes, which I accept. You are controlling the space. You want the discussion to flow because you are trying to get somewhere. And you would say, let's balance. We need these Zimbabweans on the space so that they can express themselves. Bravo to you. But the truth is, we benefit nothing discussing with these people. We benefit nothing. These people are manipulative. You understand? They will tell you all the things that we are supposed to do. And in the very same sentence, go back and attack you. Why did they kick Bongani out? Whether Bongani was talking nonsense or whatever, they must allow him the space because in South Africa, we believe in human rights. The freedom of expression is one of them. And these rascals, they are running away. They're standing in UK, demonizing us South Africans because they want to make us try. We cannot. It's my advice. But if people don't want to, I'm not going to attend those spaces. The only thing that I would do, it's a decision that I've made. And thanks to Data. Data, you brought something, my brother, which I realized when I was joking, when I was thinking about this. This thing of calling them condoms, it hurts them. So you guys, you must start that hashtag. That hashtag Zimbos are condoms. Use condoms. Because that's what they are doing. They come into our country and become cheap labor and displace us. I was displaced in 2008. I can tell you. Where I went into an interview with a Zimbabwean who was even more qualified than I was. But I had the experience. He had the experience. He had more qualifications than I was. He took 55% of what I wanted in that job. And he apologized to me, came to me, and he showed me how they are suffering, his family. And I understood. But thinking when I look at it in hindsight, I realize what people are talking about. I still had the opportunity to go to another job. Another person wouldn't have that opportunity. I was displaced by Zimbabwe, though I did not suffer then. But what about those who are suffering? But as Piwe, I'm a proud xenophobe too. That's what I wanted to say. These people, to me, I've taken a decision.
Share the video, Zimbabweans. Share that video.
I'm one of the people who are standing up to them, for them, prior, until, because I was thinking, maybe these people, we are being harsh to them. We are not. They will never change. They hate you, South Africans. You need to accept that. We can't change people who hate you. They use English to try and sugarcoat things because they express themselves in English.
There is war in Africa. It's still going on. It's still going on. It's still going on, John Ward. Right. It's still going on. Let's see. Let's see. It's going on.
Is expired. Thank you.
Thank you, Nogo, occupying. You know what, my brother, we've got a solution. Don't worry about what they are doing now. They can go to courts, but as long as we've got about a total
African UN, when we are here, when Bongani came through, he came
a higher dimension of we are in a war here, because and when I say a higher level, we need to also get into government positions and fight this thing from the top, because according to my understanding, it seems as if the government is allowing this thing to happen. If you for instance look at many other many big institutions and government sectors are employing these people. They are employing them, and at our cost. At the same time, not only those whom they are employing, but I mean, you look at people who are coming into South Africa, they are costing us a lot. And when we try to stand up against such, then we are called xenophobic. It's, for me, xenophobic, because, I mean, for me, being xenophobic, it's coming, it comes from their country and come and do evil in that particular country. And when he's being reprimanded, then they cry xenophobic. So it's something that we need to, because in my understanding of politics, the government is pushing this ideology of becoming a one Africa. I don't know what they call it. They call it Pan-Africanism, which I don't understand it, because if it is so-called Pan-Africanism, can't they practice it in their countries without disturbing other people's peace? So that's my understanding, that for some reason they do support it. They do support it, that these people should. That's why they don't care about making sure that the borders are tight. They don't care about that, because they are pushing that idea. Hence, if I'm wrong, correct me. Hence, Julius Malema was pushing the idea of opening the borders, which we know it is in their Communist Manifesto, that the borders will be open so that they can lead not only Africa into the so-called Pan-Africanism, but they will lead the whole world into one world order, where there is no border, where they don't recognize your nationality as a South African, for instance, where they don't recognize your indigenous culture, where they don't recognize, for instance, your sovereignty. That's the whole thing about communism and socialism, because I remember I've read it in a book, I think it was Helen Webster, World Revolution, where they are talking about opening the borders and dividing the people and confusing the people so that they can be able to come as a global power. When the people have the problem in the ground, then they will come as a global power, claiming to be solving that problem, only to globalize them and lead them into one direction, which is of a new world order. So those are the things that we need to fight. I mean, we have seen many people.
They are talking about Zimbabweans. They are saying Zimbabweans must come out of the country. They affect that.
I'm sorry, my brother. I'm not sure who's that. I think because last born has a problem with Mike Yake. She's trying that on her side. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure what happened. You may continue. I'm not sure. Maybe it's her, or because she's having a problem with her mic on her side. She's trying to fix that. Sure. We are sorry about that. Okay, nothing is. Okay, thank you. You are not being censored. You are not doing nothing. We're not censoring here, so relax.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I was trying to to bring up to the table, that what we need to fight. It's not only the people on the ground, but those who are at the top who are allowing it. Because one time a cousin of mine came to me to say, you know what, I might be. He was telling me, because he's a male nurse. He was saying, I might lose my job because of 1, 2, 3 I've said to someone who is a Zimbabwean at work. So what he was saying mainly there is that, you see, they even allow them in workplaces. If you check all the private schools, they employ all these people from outside. That is how they are diluting a nationality of the country, the sovereignty of the country. That's how they are diluting the society. Because in 10 years, 20 years, 40 years from now, we will have children who are not able to explain their true identity because the father is Zimbabwean, the mother is South African, or the mother is South African, like one way or the other. So that's how they are diluting and destroying nationalities all over the world. But because you know what, I'm glad that here in South Africa we do not suck up nonsense.
Oh,
South Africans. I mean, we did our forefathers and our fathers and our like they did not tolerate apartheid itself.
no.
So we are also not going to go down without a fight. That's what needs to be in every one of us, that we are going to fight and defend the future of our children. Because I felt so bad, you know, that time when I got hijacked, that I'm a South African, I've got a South African ID. What nonsense is that? You know, so that's, let me not be emotional about it, but let me also allow others to come in and drop their view. Thank you very much, everyone.
I'm removing a lot of people for doing South African things
So I'm so sorry
from my
about
Facebook.
earlier on. My mic
I'm unfriending a lot of people from South Africa.
Switching on and
Yeah, I'll
off.
do
I
that.
don't know what was
Especially
going
useless
on.
ones.
So excuse that, and welcome to the listeners, and thank
Today
you to
I'm
the
going
previous speaker as
to
well,
unfriend a lot.
and the current one. Something that was mentioned earlier really touched my heart. And to be quite frank, I would do that. All of us, I'm sure we will do that all over again if we had to. Given that we love this country and all South Africans so much, so in general, I would personally give my life for South Africa. So yeah, thank you so much, and I love you all. So I'm just going to pass the mic to the next speaker. Thank you for your patience as well, and I hope so far. So let me just give, I think, pleasure nerds
look at that.
up next. So yeah, thank you.
Muyambi, share that. Look at that. Listen to that. Share with your friends. And the government must do something about this.
Pleasure nerds. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, man, a lot has been said. Yes, a lot has been said. I even forgot what I wanted to say. I was focused on what is being said by them currently. Yeah, well, yeah. So about the plan, let me just acknowledge on top of what Uputi was saying about enhancing the strategy. So we should also focus
on my dear brother.
Themselves.
We need to move out of South Africa as soon as possible.
Destroying our country for their benefit, or for their own
Let's go back to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, we know the major reasons is because of politicians all over the world. They made the whole world a cooperative place. It's no longer like we speak as human beings. They took the world and made it an office of business. So we know which such things when they happen, we know which is an agreement upon politicians from South Africa. The current problem that we have as South African and other African countries, about Nigeria and what we know that they own stuff. I'm a business in that side. So if they agree with their citizens that everybody's not from South Africa must go back home, then their businesses are getting threatened. We know that's the obvious business. We know everything. It's clear. So there's no secrecy now that they own stuff, mines, shops, cooperative businesses. So I think, yeah, as long as we are busy here, our mind should start running and start thinking of what would be said again, because a lot of ideas we have them on coming to what should we do as citizens on the ground. I'm a strategy and I even had a plan I don't remember where, but around Nangshala Corner, there was a place, there is a place currently in Joburg. Umphakathi uphumile wayema clinic yase hospital wama egate naseRankwa, yes, in Pretoria. They even did that in Harangwa where I stay now in Pretoria. I'm in Soshangu. Rankwa is on the other side. They stood there. We comment but especially South Africans are no longer getting help. Well, much chulap, Zimbabwe and Nigeria, and they're not even paying. They did that, and it's working. So it's just a mere example. So we have to also focus and come up with a plan. And I think the plan must be aggressive.
Yes. Aggressive.
But we know our politicians, they don't hear us when we talk like this. Yeah. We write our memorandum, then but they are not going to do anything. Yeah. So let's just brainstorm around that. As long as we are continuing with the others, maybe somebody can come up with this kind of samba. No, we should do this and stop into so physically and with aggression. Yeah, I think we also need to think about that, guys. Thank you, Nyabo.
Sheda, Moyambi, Nansuda, tell me.
Pleasure notes. That actually reminded me of one of the ideas that a previous speaker, Patriot, had mentioned about putting in money to put South African first movements, membership cards, like the little that we can have. We can surely also, contest or whatever the government to the courts, as like the immigrants have also been doing. I think that was a really good idea. Oh, we have a speaker. Can I just accept the speaker? I think it's Dao. Yeah, that's why. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know why my mic keeps turning on and off.
I think they are hacking you there. That's what they do. They've been doing that for quite some time. To me, it did happen before. I think the best way is to just get out and come back. Yeah, they're going to lose the track of you. But I think it's going to continue doing the very same thing. If you don't go out and come back again.
Yeah, and for the speakers who are afraid of Ramaphosa, not us, for those who are afraid, try to, when you are on the podium or whatever, just switch off your, what do you call this thing? This thing called location. Yeah. At times, you might be lucky to even get a message that someone is accessing and all of that, if you are lucky. But yeah, if you are afraid, switch off that location. If you are not, it's fine. Let's deal with this thing. Sure.
Africa, we have become enemies. We are promoting.
I think, my queen, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back now. I will turn off my location, but they're fine. They won't do anything.
They won't do anything. They're talking about Zimbabweans.
Yeah, like how they were threatening us in the previous place. Never again. I'm not joining any Zimbabwean space ever again because, yeah, they were threatening that they know our location. I think they was threatening Useti or something like that. But irregardless, Zimbabweans are always bulk, but no bites. They couldn't even bite their own son in PF. So I cannot really take their threats seriously.
Zimbabwean government, what are we doing with this?
Good day, guys. That's fine with you.
Help us.
Host.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a case of hypnotized and psychologically blackmailed people. They're oppressed psychologically. So there's nothing that you're going to do. In every corner, they're going to try and justify their being and their plight. In the process, divert you from what you need. Push yourself in, South Africans. Take your place. The time of actually feeling sorry for yourselves is over. Take your place. If you need to push through a queue, push through a queue. Just make it uncomfortable. Just don't cause crime. Just don't do a crime. But make it so uncomfortable that they actually say, you know what? Maybe it's time. Make it uncomfortable. Do not even give them a chance. Make it uncomfortable. And stand your ground. Imagine they come into your space and they actually want to internalize with you about your plight. And want to actually make you understand. That's how they're doing it. If they could make us understand, what stops them from making ZANU-PF understand? It's because they're accepting the quantum tag.
They're talking about Zimbabweans. They are saying Zimbabweans, go back to your countries. Usheta is enjoying this. He has been watching this and listening to this. So I know some young.
And I'm definitely not going to be a condom.
Continue, Prawandi. You will switch off second and then, yeah.
I'm definitely not going to accept myself to be used as a condom. It's just not going to happen. Where I need to make it known that this is a South African space, this is a South African place, this is where South Africans speak. When a South African is wrong somewhere, hey, KK, keep quiet. Let us speak. Please take your place. They laugh. I said, don't laugh. I'm pushing you to the back. Simple and straightforward. Do the actual things. Just don't commit crimes. Please do not make yourself vulnerable.
Zimbabweans.
Yeah, Stokos. You are the leader. Take it. For speakers who would want to come through, you may request the mic. Because tonight, there in the capital city of apartheid, Pretoria, Loftus Versfeld, the mighty Kaizer Chiefs Amakosa Bafana Bokuthula Notolo are playing Mamelodi Sundowns, the Brazilians. The sky is the limit. We will be then closing at 4:30. It's in our calendar as South Africans. When we are met with problems, I did say, when we are met with problems, we resort to sport and music most of the time. And football has been that which we resorted to. I have been in the starting of these spaces early in June, actually July, crying for Banyana to be champions, praying every day, and it happened.
This one is
so for me, that was the only thing that kept me going. And things like this, football is one of the.
Usually, the host and the co-host are way more diplomatic. Give equal opportunity to speak, etc., etc. But when it comes to Zimbabwean spaces, there's never anything like that. It was just the same rhetoric that is usual, and from Zimbabweans, the Zilikazi thing comes up every time. Those guys can't get over that. So, just a complete distortion of history. Even prior to colonial, Europeans landing on the continent, just trying to forge links where they actually aren't. Then it went to the apartheid era. The conversation was really around the assistance of Zimbabwe to South Africa. Again, major distortions, a lot of lies, and then we got stuck on 2008. I think Thabo Mbeki, that conversation, it seems like 99% of Zimbabweans name South Africa for the 2008 situation where Thabo Mbeki was sent by SADC to mediate between the MPC and ZANU-PF there. That conversation just on that point took probably about 3 hours. And yeah, I think there was a lot of deflecting. There was a lot of delusion. And I think even at some point, just really just arrogant. You know, the tone and, you know, there's very, the undertones of it, you know, that Zimbabweans tend to have. And it was really unfortunate because I knew Africa Jewel was extremely tired. I had inboxed her. She said she only slept for 1 hour. But she was really just holding it down and defending South Africa and defending South Africans. And even when they were extremely rude to her, when they, you know, muted her mic and just obviously just showed.
Allow me to fast forward. She talks too much. This one.
That who we are came by blood. They were people, they were our people that could not have their identity, that were excluded, that died for this identity. And I think this makes it, we should be safeguarding this identity that we have more vigorously because it came with the price. It came with blood. People died for this. And when you have people in Home Affairs that are selling it for 2,000 rand, 3,000 rand, it almost makes me question, are these even South Africans in these Home Affairs departments? Because I can't understand how anybody that would know our history, know where we come from, could actually do that, could actually feel that it's okay to do that. And I think that, and I like the quote that you said, and I don't want to be part of a generation that is going to let down future generations. Because for the last 370 years, every generation has taken us to another level. And if we are going to be that I don't want to be part, I don't want to be written down in history as the generation that made it go all to shit. Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry, co-host, that I need to budge in and come in like that. I did this on purpose for all those who are on the space. You've heard everything that this woman spoke. The question is, look at the quality of women that we have as South Africans. Do you think these are the people that can be dictated to by Labo Madala, who are in parliament, in South African parliament? Abu Aikale, no co-host. This, you are the true imbogotos of our generation. You should not cower. You are patriotic, Nabo man. Who patriotic, the one who was talking about Home Affairs. You are the guys who are supposed in 2024, you need to find your way to represent our nation in parliament. I treat you, honestly. I wanted you to speak because I knew when we were busy inboxing that you were already calm, because you always speak sense. So I'm saying to you, South Africans, there are your leaders. She doesn't have to shout, Viva, what nonsense, Nemakanda. We don't want that nonsense. I'm taking from our co-host who in Senwai. That's his famous line. What kind of nonsense is that? These are the true patriots. These are the true South African women who are passionate about you and I. They don't know me personally. So you may have to make sure that they find their way, one way or the other. Thank you.
Hey, my twin in co-hosting. I just want to mention something. We have been asking ourselves why these guys, Zimbabweans, are cowards. Let's go to their history now. Remember, they went up there, more especially the Ndebeles. Guess what? Why they were running away from the south of Africa? They were running away from Shaka. I went land in Bela Nejos, Babalega. So that cowardness, it never stopped. Hence, they are still cowards right now. Those people who are there, they were supposed to be here in South Africa, but unfortunately, due to the cowardness, they are there. They followed the DNA of cowardness. It was instilled to Mziliga. So now we know where do they come from. The land, cowardness is not something they start from now.
Malume, the land ejected them organically. All seriously. Seriously.
Yeah.
All the cows were ejected. Only the brave remained.
Exactly. Now they want to come back and tell us that they want to be brave. You can see now the way they say things here. That this guy, this cowardness, it will never stop. You know, Finos come here and tell us that no, I want to fix Zimbabwe. I will send resources. Have you ever, where in the world have you ever seen a dollar going and queue to vote for elections? I never seen something like that. And those guys that deserted that country, maybe in the near future we'll have to really look and take that country when it is empty and take it for ourselves, because all the cowards will be all over the world.
Yes, and co-host, before maybe you move on, I see Tsona is raising the hand. Maybe I want to know, we are born now as well. Just for those who don't know, just so that we can, in the next 1 minute, just explain very fast what it. Actually, none of the cowards, no one actually was left out of those people. Why? Let me tell you how it was done. These people were first fired, actually. They ran away, not fired, from Kosi Ushaka in KwaZulu-Natal and went on to be welcomed.
Stopped by you?
Yes, they stopped by us. With the people, Amadebele, they were already there. Yes, Amadebele were already there. So they stopped them, and then Amadebele welcomed them. But when Amadebele welcomed them, they then wanted, because Mzilikazi he had believed what we in Kosinai. Is then after the bullying of Amandebele stood up against him and his people. And when he didn't leave peacefully, and then he then ran away now, while Ushaga on the other side, we are Mfuna, and Amandebele actually no, that's Safuni. And then went back, ran away to in a place now called Kwabulawa Matebele land in the south, in Rhodesia, which is now called Zimbabwe. So I just want that so that no. We are not related. In fact, they are more related to the Zulus, but we are not going to start that because they ran away from Bushaga. And then Tina Bispamugela, so because they didn't want, whenever they arrived in Zimbabwe, they didn't want the Zulus to find out that they are there. They call themselves Amandebele. So we need to be careful about that. We are not related to those people. Thank you.
No, I think we need to check you guys out too, eh?
Thank you so much for that lesson. So next time when we get those smart Zimbabweans on the spaces, we can just remind them real quick. No, please just hold on there. And yes, they mentioned that we have amazing South African patriots. I just have to mention a few patriots as well, especially Sia. Sia always holds spaces even though she has kids. Uza Rantana Wekala in the background, but she still holds it down. Usaidi, Shirley, a lot of wonderful women I haven't mentioned as well. So happy Women's Day to you all, and much love to you all. So yes, thank you for that lesson. I'll really keep that in mind. So let me just pass the mic to Tswana Woman, if you host and co-host don't mind.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Tswana Woman,
Can you hear me? I'm here. Thank you so much. So now thank you. So now I actually want to speak about future South Africa, the South Africa that I want my kids, my grandkids, their future generation to live on. Not like to live, because South Africa are very safe. I mean, South Africa, we are the top notch, we have beautiful people, we loving people, we're just good people generally. That's why everyone else, they're taking advantage of us, thinking already. So I always say to people, because I'm very vocal about this thing, I always say South Africa is like, that guy. Or like at hoods, not saying anything, they're very quiet, smiling, greeting everyone, not saying anything. Like people will mock that guy and when that guy snaps, like everyone, like that's South Africa for you. And people don't know that. South Africa, we're just loving people, but these people now have pushed us to the limit. We done come on. And I like what the co-host said, she would die for South Africa. I'm like that. Personally, I'll die for South Africa. You will never, ever, even in a single day, see me outside after 8 o'clock. But I live in South Africa. This is my country. This is where I was born. This is where my parents were born. Their parents were born. But I'm very scared. I get really out. I don't do growth. And it's been years now because of 2 personal things in my family, and that gave me fear. My late sister was killed by foreigners. She was raped and killed. I also have a cousin and her husband. They were also killed by foreigners. So that, I think somebody in a trauma, So, and I just want to live in a very safe environment where I can just walk my peoples, Busuka 10 o'clock, not fearing for anything. I know what I'm safe. I'm a woman, I have kids. I want my kids to be safe. I want my kids I walk them and then and they can come back. To kidnap you, or they'll be fed drugs in Nigerians, because I have girls. I have 3 beautiful girls. So, it's so scary. It's so scary. I just want to live in a very, very peaceful South Africa where I know what I'm safe. I want to live in a South Africa where I don't have to tint the windows black. I want to live in a South Africa where when there's an emergency, I have to drive up. I smoke, and then I'll be smoking for 20 minutes because I just want them. Okay, that's a guy. I just want to live in a South Africa where normal. I go to clinic. I don't want to pay for private for the medical aid. I don't want to do that. I want to go clinic. I'm paying tax. Can't do what is the tax for? I want to go to a clinic. Stay 2-3 hours the whole day. I want to take my grand day. You understand? I don't have medical aid. My grand separate medical aid, which is expensive, so that I start for 5 hours just to get her BP pills. It's so crazy. I wanna go Bara again. Bara get the biggest hospital in the world, in Africa, not the world. But Bara has deteriorated. It's sad. And yet you find people, cowards, men are taken from their countries and they come here and they come terrorizing our kids. So earlier, maybe like 2 hours ago, while listening to everything after earlier, and I'm going through my tweets, and then I see somebody has said in the past 2 or 3 months, there's like 11,000 rapes reported. And I'm not saying South African men don't rape. I'm not saying South African men don't hijackers. They don't do home invasion. I'm not saying that. I'm not denying that. But you cannot expect lone immigrants, men, because these people, mostly when they come, they don't bring their families. It's just men. You find men in their only 19, 20, 21, 23. These people, they're here. And then they see our kids. That person, number one, I personally I'm sorry to say that. And I know a lot of women, a lot of South African women who don't date foreigners. I don't like Jewish. Number one, they stink. Number two, they're filthy. Have you seen how South Africa is? South Africa is so filthy. CBD. And I used to CBD.
Sorry for disturbing you. Don't be sorry about those things. You can continue. Don't be sorry. You can continue.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I sometimes don't want to offend people, so thank you. So I used to frequent CBD Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Like I go there, me and my friends will catch a taxi, go to highway, we'll go to CBD. About 10 o'clock, feeling safe. We'll go club there, go CBD. When I was in varsity, next to a coffee shop, go High Park. And I'll knock off by 11 o'clock, near a hiker. Fisher, let talk go CBD, or Brie to be exact. And we would walk to go Carlton Center, free, just no stress. My colleagues, and would go for, imagine walking from Brie to Carlton Center this day. Okay, this is the kind of thing. But back then, I used to do that. I'll walk from Brie to about 12 a.m. No worry in the world, smoking was drugs, laughing, humanity. We get in those cabs, so when they getting Nissan Almera, they drop you off, life humanity. But no, you can't do that. I personally don't allow my 11-year-old, I have a 15-year-old daughter. I don't want her to go anywhere CBD. I haven't been to CBD in years because CBD scares me. Already I have a trauma from my late sister, from my late cousin, and her husband.
My brother, don't tell.
Now what I do every day, it's me from Soweto to work, from work to Soweto, every single day of my life, and that's it. I get shop. I shop around the kitchen. I go to the kitchen where I pick and pay shop, right? I go there, I do my shopping. I send a life. And not by choice, but because of I'm fearful. So I just want to live in a very, very safe country. We cannot say South African men are rape. Yes, they do. I'm not denying that. But you cannot allow 20 illegal migrant men in South Africa, because now personally, I know a lot of people that are situated because they know. And then now, the next thing is, they're human, they get honey. I'm sorry to say this, but with the adults here, so they get honey. What do? They rape our kids. And 2 months ago, Kimodi Space in sitting at them now, so I was in this Australian space. They were talking about how it's not safe anymore for women. Women are being raped. And then this guy was saying, I don't understand why you women are not telling the truth. Why can't you say your immigrant boyfriends? Those are the people who rape you. You know that. We've never had that problem before the influx of these people. You know that. But now, since there's an influx of these people, there's
there's now this thing sitting Sahalang and it's so crazy. Guys, thank you so much for giving me the space to talk. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Sona Woman, for mentioning a lot of valid points. We appreciate that.
Zimbabweans, I just want to tell you this. I'll play you the part 2 tomorrow about this hate speech from a South African tweet. They are serious about Zimbabweans. They want Zimbabweans gone. Today, I received about 4 or 5 messages from people from South Africa and Zimbabwe saying, "Ngoma film that okay, I'm going next week." I can actually show you some messages, but I don't know the numbers to be seen. And they are going back. And South Africans, they've come with a way of saying Zimbabweans are the ones causing problems in South Africa. But one thing South Africans forget is Zimbabwe is in the middle. Zimbabwe is in the middle. When I'm talking about the middle, when South Africans go to Zambia, they pass through Zimbabwe. When South Africans go to Malawi, they pass through Zimbabwe. And there are a lot of South Africans coming to see Victoria Falls. But we don't want to encourage xenophobia. What you call it is xenophobia. We don't want to encourage things like that. But I think the government of Zimbabwe now, they need to come in together and work and take our Zimbabweans back and do something. Let's leave this place. I'll be unfriending a lot of people from South Africa. Probably I'll remain with I'm artists, I'm musicians. But a lot of people from South Africa, just aid me because I think I'll also try to support my fellow Zimbabweans in solidarity. I am not going to laugh and just watch my fellow brothers and sisters being harassed and then I just pretend as if everything is okay. I think I can go on a holiday in Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls, and avoid Kruger National Park. I think that is the way I have to do. I want to snap because this is unbelievable. Tomorrow I'll give you the part 2 of that hate speech. It was a 3-hour program. They removed all people from Zimbabwe on that space. One of the guys I sent a link was Simba Chikanza. He came in, then they realized the name, they removed him from the space. They said they removed that Simba Chikanza, remove him. I think it's now high time for us Zimbabweans to say no. Let's work in solidarity with one another. So a lot of South Africans who I see are here to cause problems, I'll be unfriending them from my Facebook very soon. Because I don't expect someone who is a friend of me to come and support xenophobia. I cannot expect that. Yes, when they say go back to your country, I understand. I do understand. Go back to your country. But we have got a lot of South Africans in Zimbabwe. We've got musicians playing in Zimbabwe almost in every weekend. Last week, DJ Mapurisa was playing in Zimbabwe at the Heroes Egg. In the UK with my cousin, it was packed, Zimbabweans. So, I think this video must be seen by the leaders of Zimbabwe and intervene. And these people must be arrested. But who is going to arrest them? Right, I'll give you the part 2 tomorrow. I've got the whole day tomorrow. Share this video. Don't share this video for me to be popular. Share the video to help your brothers and sisters. In every Zimbabwean, wherever you are, you've got a relative in South Africa. Let's not lie to one another. Every Zimbabwean has got a relative in South Africa. So it pains me a lot when I bring you such an important issue like this. You don't even, show any solidarity. But who am I to say that? Thank you so much. Tomorrow I'll play part 2, where they were talking about a lot about Zimbabwe. They mentioned a little bit of Nigerians, but because probably they are afraid of Nigerians. It pains me. How are you, my brother Adal? Okay, nice to see you. It pains me so much. South Africa has got a lot of people from other countries, Somalians, Zambians, Malawians, but they were talking about Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans, during the apartheid, a lot of South Africans came to Zimbabwe. They educated themselves in Zimbabwe. They all ran away from the war in South Africa. They came to Zimbabwe, including the brother of Thabo Mbeki, the young brother of Thabo Mbeki. But today, Zimbabweans, we are being treated like animals. They are talking about going to take further actions, more. They are saying, our brothers, our sisters, stop dating Zimbabweans. They are filthy, they are dirty, they stink. That's what they were saying. It's not me. I've always, on my holiday, go through South Africa. But I wash my hands today. I wash my hands today. I wash my hands today. There are flights from England which I can take and go straight to Zimbabwe. Today I wash my hands. I learned a lesson. Why will I go there to spend my money in a country where I'm not welcome? No chance. Thank you. Let's meet to go tomorrow. Good night. I love you so much, guys. I hope you enjoy that. Let's meet tonight. So sad and pathetic and disgrace.